I do fantasy football.
It's my quarterback. If you guys do that, man, it's unfair.
How's your fantasy team looking this year?
I won $1 million.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
How y'all doing? This is Seton Smith, and you're listening to My Fantasy Wife Podcast. Knuckle.
My Fantasy Wife Podcast.
Style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable.
Blair.
I watched 40 minutes of Space Jam this weekend. It's 40 minutes of my life. I'm not going to get back.
Put that in your pipe and smoke.
Gary.
They had already announced he was leaving. He
Well-
just didn't want to wait out the 30. You know how when you quit a job, you got to give them 30 days or whatever. He's
2 weeks. You've never had a real job, have you?
No.
He is the man in the fantasy world.
Drew.
You're not a Peyton Manning fan.
I'm not a Manning fan.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Lewis.
You love Burger King.
Yeah, I like Burger King.
Yeah.
Not the game. We're talking about practice, man.
You're listening to My Fantasy Wife Podcast. www.myfantasywife.com.
Welcome, listeners, to My Fantasy Wife, the weekly sports meets comedy meets marriage podcast, where a husband and wife discuss sports, fantasy leagues, and their impact on pop culture and relationships, including their own. I'm the wife, comedian Blair Postman. Woohoo! I'm joined by my husband and sports stat expert, Mr. Gary Haynes.
Hi.
Hot Topics and social media maven comedian Drew Harrison is out on assignment this week, but luckily we still have rounding things out. Sound engineer, comedian, and man about town, Mr. Louis Bishop.
Hi. Sorry about the mess up there.
Oh, you don't make mistakes. You make creative windows into new ideas.
There you go.
To never miss our weekly episodes, extras, and more, subscribe in iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Find us on Facebook and Instagram at My Fantasy Wife Podcast, Twitter at My Fan Wife, and support the podcast by liking and rating us in iTunes. Miss any of that? Then just go to our website. It's newly designed at myfantasywife.com with links to everything. Gary?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about this week's sponsor.
Well, I sure will, Blair. This week's sponsor is Podhive. Podhive.com matches small to mid-sized podcasts and advertisers. Podcasts get matched with advertisers who might otherwise miss them. Advertisers get heard by listeners of cool podcasts who want to be their perfect customers. It's an audio sponsorship love connection. Go to podhive.com for more information. That's podhive.com.
That was a lovely reading of it.
Why, thank you.
Well, okay, folks. Well, coming up in the next few weeks, we've got some pretty exciting guests. Hold on.
Like who?
Louis Bishop.
This week, episode 113, if you can believe it, from the SheDot Comedy Festival in Toronto and All Things Canadian Comedy, we've got Martha O'Neill.
Oh, yeah.
Eugene's daughter.
Canadians. Maybe. I doubt it. Coming up in May, we also have from Talk Soup and Queer as Folk comedian pop culture expert Hal Sparks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we're expecting to have some headliners from the Cape Fear Comedy Festival and a few other tricks in our sleeve.
Oh, is that coming up?
Yeah, it's coming up.
They need a doorman?
You know what? Play your cards right. They might need a doorman for another year, Gary Hames.
Okay.
Gary Hames, the official doorman of Cape Fear Comedy Festival. But that's about it. How are you doing this week, Gary?
Mediocre.
Okay. That's above average,
Yeah.
actually.
Oh.
Okay. What about you, Mr. Bishop?
Good. How was you guys' Easter? You guys wanted to take Easter off because you had to go to the White House for the Easter roll, correct?
Right. Well,
How'd that go?
It was a little awkward. Gary tried to steal the children's eggs. No, we didn't do any of those things. We stayed at home. I went to the beach part of the day.
How was that?
It was good.
Sandy.
Yeah. What did you do for Easter? How was your Easter?
Do you get in the ocean or you just lay there?
I put my legs in the ocean like a little bit because I wasn't wearing like a super ocean-friendly bathing suit.
Blair's lesbian lover, Sandy Beach.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, it's sad for it to come out this way, but there it is.
Right.
Gary's very understanding. We're still friends.
Well, that's good.
You
and Gary or Sandy?
Well, all of us.
Sandy Beach.
It's ridiculous. Oh boy. And how was your Easter, Mr. Bishop?
It was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Went to the in-laws. Did that stuff.
Did that stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you have white meat rabbit or dark meat rabbit?
Oh,
dark.
I don't know why that grosses me out so much because really, I mean, what difference does it make
Right.
what it is? But it really grosses me out.
What? White or dark meat?
No, the whole rabbit part.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like you were fine with white meat rabbit, but not.
Right.
I took her to a French restaurant one time, and I was
No.
trying to get her to have a rabbit because I figured it was in French and she wouldn't know what she was eating and then she'd like it. But she
Right.
took French in college, so it backfired.
I don't remember that actually happening. Except I did take French.
Le
for
Lapin?
Le Lapin. That's not what bunny rabbit is.
What is rabbit's not Lapin?
I don't remember. Grenouille is frog.
I'm pretty sure rabbit's Lapin.
Okay, well, you know what? First fact check for next episode. And speaking of fact
Nobody
checks,
knows French rabbits like.
Do you not?
Monsieur Le Bunny.
Yeah, right.
What is your issue with rabbit? Real quick. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I
She doesn't want to eat it.
I don't want to eat it.
Do you have issues with like other weird things, like stuff that's out of the realm of normal?
She wouldn't eat octopus either.
I've eaten octopus. Like that's I do that with like a informed knowledge. It's just not that great. It's kind of chewy.
I heard on ESPN yesterday that the number one selling snack at the Seattle ballpark this year was newly introduced toasted crickets.
Really?
I don't know. Did you hear that knocking?
Oh, maybe I kicked something.
Oh, okay.
It's
I think it
possible.
was Heaven's Door.
Really, possibly. I want to knock on it.
I saw the thing about the crickets too. Where was that at though?
In Seattle,
Yeah.
Safeco Field. That's the number one selling snack this year for some reason or something.
Well, it's probably very lean protein.
They're with like pine nuts and some sort of Mexican seasoning, and they're going over very well, I guess. Toasted crickets.
If you season anything, that's about all it takes. I guess including rabbit, maybe.
Crispy toasted crickets.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something.
Or maybe it was grasshopper. Was it
No,
grasshopper?
it was grasshopper or crickets. Same
one of
difference,
those. One of
right?
those.
I think it's crickets.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, now we have our second fact check for
All
next
right.
week if Wills Maxwell is following along at home. Speaking of fact checking, Mr. Wills Maxwell is our ombudsman, and this is where we would usually go to him for the fact checking, but he is also out on assignment today. But because he is a GD professional, he is a goddamn professional, he sent me fact checks anyway, even though he could not appear on the show.
Huh.
That's what I'm
Well,
talking
later
about.
I'm reading 7 jokes that Drew mailed me.
Okay, well, that sounds good. 7 sad sighs.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Well, here's our fact checking for this week. And listeners, this is the part of the podcast where we correct the mistakes we made last week to make room for the mistakes we are going to make this week. There were a lot of them, little ones. First of all, he did mention that Duke did, in fact, play
Win
in
the national
tournament.
championship?
No, they did not.
Oh.
There was some question.
Are we sure?
Yeah, we've triple confirmed that now.
All right.
And also, Canada beat Sweden. So Canada won the U.S. World Curling Championships, in which the U.S. placed fourth. We were discussing how it was amazing that the U.S. had gotten that far. So I guess in honor of our Canadian guests, maybe she knows about curling.
Perhaps.
don't know.
I didn't have
Maybe.
any curling questions on the trivia, though.
Well, don't give it all away just yet, honey. And then the phrase we were talking to Chanel Ali, comedian and former high school high jumper, and
boxer.
And no, although that would be something. That's
Maybe
a
she's
different
a boxer / bobsledder.
Well, that's a different Ali family.
Oh, right.
But the phrase "raising the bar" does come from the 19th century, and it's derivative of both high jump and the pole vault. So it's not clear that it was just specifically from the high jump. It may have come from the pole vault. And then finally, we were talking about high IQs of presidents, and according to inside.gov or insidegov.com, George W. Bush's estimated IQ is 124.88. I don't know how they figure out to the decimal
Wow,
point.
that's extremely
It's
precise.
extremely
Right, yeah,
specific.
wow.
And he does rank towards the bottom of U.S. presidents.
124? That's pretty high.
I think so too, but maybe he's in a
Are they
overachieving group.
Are they saying like all? There's no way that all the presidents are like super geniuses. There has to be a few dumbasses, right?
Well,
That's in
he's
there.
towards the bottom. He wasn't at the bottom estimated.
Yeah, but still towards the bottom at 124.
That's hard to believe.
I feel like
Who came up with that stat?
that was InsideGov.com. So now
I know, but did you find it, or was that Bud and Breakfast?
no, that was Wills
Bud
Maxwell
Breakfast.
found it.
Okay.
So
Because isn't like 135? That's like genius, right? That's
Yes,
like,
right. The highest recorded score is like
Okay.
160 or something.
All right, so this is what's going to happen now. This is what happens when we don't have our social media maven. Now we're on to our third fact check that Wills is going to have to fact check
Right.
for next week.
By the way,
and we're going to go super down the rabbit hole because now we're fact checking the fact check.
I work with a girl that said in passing, she was talking to someone, and she said that she had an IQ of 210.
Wow.
I said, I was thinking, why are you selling glasses?
Is
You
that
should be-
dog IQ?
Yeah, I guess. I don't
In
know.
dog years, somehow.
Dog IQ.
210.
Yeah, it's 30 in human.
Right.
All right, guys. So that's our fact checking for today.
Have you ever got your
It's
IQ
delicious.
checked?
I don't think I ever got it checked where I actually saw the results. I think they checked it when I was very young.
Right.
I
Gary?
think it was amazing.
We had them checked like in school, and
Right.
then the teachers and the counselors and stuff knew our IQ,
Yeah,
but they
but they
wouldn't
didn't
tell
tell
us.
us.
So
Right.
I always felt like the way they looked at me, I must be really smart, but I didn't have any confirmation.
Right.
Yeah. We tied on the Wonderlic test. Don't get all over yourself.
Do we?
Yeah, we did.
Huh.
Sorry, buddy. Did you ever get your IQ tested?
I did, yeah. Well, remember, I was they put me in the retarded trailer when I was in elementary
Well,
school.
yeah, but I didn't want to
So-
put too fine a point on it.
No, you're fine. And then in 6th grade, they gave me an IQ test, and that's how I got out. That's how.
Oh, that's how you got out.
Yeah, my parole. Yeah.
Right. Well, and there's those things that are inherently troublesome. Like if you have dyslexia, you could have a very high level of intelligence, but do very poorly on a test,
Right,
for
right.
example. So.
Or if you're from the inner city and you speak in a vernacular that is much different from the test, perhaps you can't understand the
You
questions
mean
entirely well.
you mean like on Different Strokes?
What?
I'm pretty sure that was an episode of Different Strokes.
Well, you watch more
in
TV
fact,
than I do.
I'm almost positive by the sheepish look on your face that you know that was an episode of Different Strokes.
Blair, all I can say is that the world doesn't move to the beat of just one drum.
What might be right for you, Gary,
Yeah.
may
all right.
not be right for some.
Anyway, I had no idea that was an
Man is
episode
born,
of...
He's a man of me.
That's a TV show, right?
Move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some. He's born, he's a man of dreams.
Wait, we're going to have to start the intro over Tina Yothers is in her trailer getting high.
Different strokes for dicks. Different
No, it wasn't
strokes.
Tina. Who was
no,
the different...
Tina Yothers.
Yeah, she's Alex Keaton, those
Yeah,
guys. Who's this girl?
She passed away. Dana Plato.
Yes, right.
Her name just popped up.
Not a lot. So what? Yes, you have yours and I'll have mine. And together we'll be fine.
Produced by Howard Leeds.
Mr. Drummond, why are your pants off?
Okay, all right. That's
come
it.
on.
That was okay. Gary had to go one too many places ahead. All right, guys. We have a little.
Child molester,
Can we have
right?
a little change music? No, I don't think that was.
He was creepy. You
Yes,
think
he
he was creepy?
Yeah, but come
Yeah.
on.
I don't know.
Different kinds of creepy. Can we have a
Who's
little,
creepy?
Mr. Drummond.
Oh.
There was something up with that show.
Right.
Okay. A little hot topics? Okay. This is kind of a combination of sad, weird, I don't know. But Aaron Hernandez committed suicide in prison.
What?
And yes.
What did he do to get in prison?
Oh, stop it.
Parking tickets?
No, I think he maybe
dropped a couple of classes in the NFC Championship game a few years earlier, and
they framed him for murder.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right.
Tom Brady's like, listen, you can't catch the ball. I'll teach you a lesson. Everybody else better watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they did. No, and he committed suicide in prison, and then weirdly, the next day, the Patriots go to the White House.
Was that tasteless? That was probably tasteless.
It was tasteless.
All right.
But
Was it? No. Why was it tasteless?
I don't know. I feel like Tom Brady would have taken offense.
no, I
to
thought
us
you meant.
claiming that he framed
Oh,
Aaron Hernandez for
I thought
murder.
you were asking me, was it tasteless that the Patriots went the next day to the White House
no, that.
and they have Ron Gronkowski bunch coming in on the White House press corps briefing room for fun and spontaneous stuff.
Who's Ron Gronkowski?
Rob Gronkowski.
Okay.
It
He was on your fantasy team.
I know. I like it when
You
it
know his name
rhymes.
for 2 years in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
I like it when it rhymes.
Okay.
I was
That's
upset
why
that
I
Ron
married you.
Gronkowski showed up. Like, what is he doing there?
Right.
That's why I married you, Gary and Blairy.
No, why is it tasteless? They have nothing to do with that guy. He was a part of the team in 2012.
Yeah, it was.
It's not the New England Gronkowski. I mean, Hernandez's or whatever.
No,
He's not
I
outside
know.
the
It was
helmet.
just.
Do you think?
Unfortunate.
I think the timing, like it was right after he got acquitted for the other murder. And you think he was just like, he was all excited, like he went to court every day and he got to see other people and like things are going on for like a year.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he gets off and they take him back to the cell. It's like, oh, well, now I have to be in jail for life.
Right.
Like I should
have killed more people.
Well, no, I don't know about that, but I mean, I just think like all of a sudden it must have dawned on him like that didn't matter at all, really. Even though I just got off on a murder, like I was acquitted for murder. Two murders. 2 murders,
yeah,
and yet it doesn't matter,
right?
At all. Doesn't do me one bit of good. What are they going to give me another life sentence? You know, so what?
I'm saying if he committed more crimes, he could have went to court more and then seen more people. So,
all right, I'm getting really depressed.
Why?
Right now? Just I don't know. The whole thing is just.
Do you think Tom Brady did it? Is that why you're getting depressed?
No. Although Tom Brady did not go to the White House, he's had family issues. He said, and I know his mom's been sick, so that might have been why.
I couldn't help but notice that I watched Family Guy the other night where Peter plays golf with O.J. Simpson.
Yes.
And
what does that have to do with it?
Well, he was the other famous murder trial NFL person.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know.
That was a stretch. All right. Can I change the topic music there, sure. Mr. Bishop? I don't have which major it was, but Serena Williams won a major tennis tournament while she was 20 weeks pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's that. Okay, can I have a change of music?
Wait a minute. Who was 20 weeks pregnant?
Serena Williams.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
It's on the outline that I made for you.
Oh.
Yeah, it's that you have rolled up now into like a piece of puppetry. Yep. Good for her.
That's pretty impressive.
All right, next. All right, Gary, what's going on in the sort of the NBA MVP race?
Well, it's over.
Well, the regular, because it's only regular season.
Yes, right, and it's over. The vote's in somewhere. What is that accounting company that?
Right. That it wasn't.
It's not Dewey, Cheatham and Howe.
It's not
That's
Arthur
a law firm.
Anderson. It's something else. But yeah.
Yeah, they've got the results in a locked aluminum case they bought for Harbor Freight for $5.99.
So what are people? What's the intelligentsia say on this?
I don't know. I'll call Drew.
What are folks saying? Who's sort of the best guess? Who's the?
It's either
the sharps?
It's
Who are the sharps
it's
picking?
either James Harden or the insane guy from
Russell
Oklahoma
Westbrook.
City. Yeah, Russell Westbrook.
And who's your choice and why?
I'm just stunned. It blows my tiny little penguin mind that you could average a triple-double for a season. Not only that, like the timing was impeccable. The last game of the season he finished off, he had a 50-point triple-double. And what are you doing?
He broke that record?
Yeah, he broke the record. Well, he didn't. It's not a record. He became the second person in 62 years to do that. Like it hadn't happened since the 50s.
Okay.
Oscar Robertson. It's insane. It's ridiculous. It'd be like you Babe Ruth hit the 60 home runs, and then you break the home run record 60 years later, and they don't give you the MVP. Like just an unbreakable sports record that would never be broken. And you break it, and you're not the MVP. I don't get it. And he has no help. That team literally would fall into the Marianas Trench and drown if he weren't on it. They would find him at the bottom of the ocean.
And they're in Oklahoma, so that would be so weird.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he scores.
But so why is the other dude like so popular?
He's having a really good season. I mean, I don't know. I even listen to him talk about it on the radio all the time. These people are like, well, he averages one more rebound. It's like, so what? The other dude averaged a triple-double for the first time in 60 years. His team won 10 more games. So does that make him more valuable? That's not.
It's the definition of the valuable, right?
Always the conversation about this has been: is it the most valuable player or is it the best player? Because if it was the best player, Michael Jordan and LeBron James would have won the last 20. So it's not just who's the best player; it's who's the most valuable to their team, who had the best season relative to the rest of their output. I don't know. It's just that is to me the single most amazing achievement I've seen in my lifetime watching NBA basketball. And you can tell me he's not going to win the MVP. I don't get it.
I don't know. Do you have any very important thoughts about the NBA MVP race?
I think that Westbrook should win it for the triple-double, and that he looks like a bad guy from a Tyler Perry movie.
Okay.
All
right.
He looks like the guy that'll do you wrong, but then in the end, he learns his lesson.
Oh, well, that's nice.
That is nice. I'm not sure it's true either. I listen to his interviews. I don't know that he's learned his lesson.
Can we have a change of topic music?
Well, he hasn't done anything bad, Gary. He hasn't cheated on me in a while.
You don't know. You watch him all the time?
Yeah. He calls me, texts me, and everything.
Right. Okay.
What about
as long as you're comfortable with it, I'll take your word for it. I'm good.
Okay.
Can you do the change of topic music again?
Okay, sure.
Please. Okay. NBA playoffs. Gary Ames, what's going on? Who's winning? Who's not? What's up with Chicago and stuff?
Well, my Washington and Harry Potters jumped out to a 2-0 lead in their series.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Have they not played another game since?
Yeah, they lost last night. I wasn't
okay.
going to mention that.
Oh, okay. I'm like, wait a second. Wasn't that kind of
they
a
lost
while
by
ago?
like 30 last night. I turned it on midway through. They were down like 27 in the third quarter. So.
Okay. So are you rooting for the Washington Harry Potter?
Yes, I am.
Okay. What else is going on out there? How is Cleveland doing? How are those Golden State Warriors?
Everything is going along. The only thing that happened is, for some reason that even the extremely smart gentleman at that sports network couldn't figure out, the San Antonio coach pulled all of his starters out, and they lost their third game because he played the last 5 guys on the bench for the second half of the game.
Why?
I don't know. There was speculation he was trying to teach them a lesson.
Okay.
How to lose an NBA playoff game, perhaps.
I guess.
I don't know.
Well, lesson learned.
Yeah, they're going to come back, though.
Yes.
So, you know.
I don't think they're going to lose, but it's just odd. Seldom do you see them take those things to the level where it loses the game.
Who in the playoffs?
Yeah, right.
Who's San Antonio playing?
The Grizzlies.
Grizzlies, yeah.
Oh, the Toronto Grizzlies?
No.
Oh.
That would make sense, right?
They used to be the Vancouver Grizzlies,
Okay.
and they moved back to
I
the
thought they
States
were
because they were
Canadian.
having problems with the money exchange.
All right, well, let's not bring that up with our Canadian guests.
Okay.
It's coming up.
They're in
That
the
seems
great
rude.
Canadian city of Memphis.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
right. Oh,
right.
okay.
Good barbecue in Canada, evidently.
Right.
Lots of blues music.
Right.
Right. Okay, cool.
Home of B.B. King.
All right. Anything else about the NBA playoffs?
It doesn't, it could come back in a month.
All right. Can I have a change of topic music? We're just rolling. We're rolling.
Yeah.
You said we had to roll.
The National Hockey League is having playoffs also now through the early June.
Well, our resident hockey expert is not here today.
Right, but I thought since you knew that, you would have done some,
Hey, as long as, let's just take a second, I'll just say this, blah, 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 North Carolina.
Say something about the Blackhawks.
No. Yeah, right. Well, they lost. They
yeah.
lost their first 2 or 3 games of their series. It looks like they're going to get bounced.
I think they're out of it now.
Are they out of it?
I think so. I just want to make sure.
I haven't kept up the last day or so.
All right.
Maybe that's where Drew is. Maybe he's upset.
Maybe. Maybe.
Well, he gave me several days' notice, so that would be odd. But,
Hey, Blair, on Sunday I'm going to be upset.
Right. It's possible.
Yeah.
What else? Is there any other quirky, before we call our guests, are there any other quirky
Hockey's
stores?
funny. Somebody said this on ESPN and I totally agree. Can you imagine in the NBA, Golden State losing in 4 games and getting bounced out the first week? But it would never happen, ever. But in hockey, the best team in hockey could absolutely lose quietly and never be heard from again. That happens every other year.
Really?
Yeah. It's just things are a lot. Hockey is so much about the hot goalie. Whoever happens to have a hot goalie, the worst team can win every game.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
By the way, the Blackhawks did make history, NHL and NBA. And you're thinking they don't even play basketball.
Right.
But apparently this is the first time ever in the NHL or NBA, I don't know if they say NBA, that the first number 1 seed got swept by the number 8 seed. So,
Yes.
Wow.
Right.
good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
And they got swept by the Canadian team, the Nashville Predators, Nashville,
right.
Nashville, Canada.
Got some good country music in Canada.
They do.
Yeah, they do. They actually do.
Right.
From what I understand, out in Calgary and such.
Get you a nice Vancouver barbecue and listen to a little Nashville country music.
I like the Memphis barbecue ribs from Canada.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Right.
Delicious.
And that sauce.
Delicious. And that sauce.
Yeah.
Now, Gary, what about your Washington Capitals?
I followed the first 2 games. I have not seen the score since then. We won the first one in overtime. We lost the second one in overtime.
You did not study.
I didn't study hockey. No, that's
true.
true.
You didn't study hockey for this week.
I know a lot of Canadian hockey trivia now.
You do, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
I saw your boyfriend Ovechkin get a pretty good check the other night. This was, I think, Friday night. He got checked pretty well, and they were crying about it. And
do you mean a Czechoslovakian?
Yeah.
I almost said.
Was it a woman or a man?
I almost said.
1 for 1.
There you go.
Cover all your bases.
How do you have up there, Mr. Bishop, by any chance, how the Capitals? Of course, any real sports fan listening to this is going to know the answer.
The Maple Leafs lead the series 3-2. So
yeah, it doesn't matter. Capitals come back. We'll all think they're going to win, and then Pittsburgh will destroy them.
Next game is tonight at 7 p.m.
Oh, well, there you go, Gary. You can set it for next week.
They're going to win. I bet my farm right now that they're going to win 4-3.
All right.
And then lose to Pittsburgh,
now,
even if they don't play them.
We've got to call our guests here in like 1 minute. But are there any big sports topics that, for some reason, I did not think to put on this that you think are very important for us to talk about?
Cubbies got their World Series rings.
Oh.
And you know what they did? They had ring bearers. They had a competition where people were allowed to write an essay on why they thought a certain Cub deserved a World Series ring. And then they picked one and had each superfan carry the ring from the ring location out to the field and give it to the thing at the
That's nice.
At the game.
Were they kids or were they adults?
I think it was whoever wrote the best essay.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right. That's nice.
Yeah, I thought that was nice.
That's nice. Anything going on in baseball besides that we need to know about?
No, call me in October.
Okay. How about September?
Nah.
All right. Gary, you used to love baseball.
I do love baseball. I love fantasy baseball.
Okay. We're going to call our guest Martha O'Neill. But wait a second. Before we do.
Cubs won. It's over.
Well, yeah. But I'm just saying.
Baseball can close up now.
Okay. We'll save that for when we have a little time to debate.
Okay,
that's a good debate. Should we just shut down baseball for all time now that the Cubs have won? Okay, guys, we're now going to call our guest Martha O'Neill on the Dead Crow Comedy Room Celebrity Talk Line. Dead Crow Comedy Room in Wilmington, North Carolina, has weekly events featuring local and regional comedians and nationally touring comics from TV and movies every weekend, like Drew Michael, SNL writer, who will be there Friday and Saturday, April 28th and 29th. Whether you're a local or one of the thousands of tourists to the Wilmington, North Carolina and Beaches area every year, be sure to check them out at deadcrowcomedy.com. That is deadcrowcomedy.com.
Before you push that button.
What?
Speaking of SNL, I heard on the radio this week, do you know what Alec Baldwin made for his SNL appearance?
No, I have no idea.
$1,400.
Well, okay, good for him.
That just seems...
It's probably SAG minimum.
I was astonished it was so low.
It's probably SAG minimum. Okay. They have budgets. All right. They probably all get SAG minimum for that stuff. We'll talk about it another time.
I guess so.
All right, here we go. Can you hold that, Gary?
Sure. I can't believe in that reach you broke up Sandy Beaches.
I said never talk about her again.
Yeah, what you did.
Hello.
Hello, is this Martha?
It is.
Martha, this
Blair?
is... Yes, it is. This is Blair Postman from my Fantasy Wife podcast. How are you?
I'm great, and I've been looking forward to chatting with you.
Well, wonderful. Martha, among other things, we'll do a proper bio, but she is a real voiceover artist, so we're really getting a
she sounds delightful.
She sounds delightful.
No,
Well, let me tell you who else is in the room here, Martha. It's my husband and sports stat expert, Mr. Gary Hames.
Hi, Martha. I'm glad to meet
Gary.
you. Oh, it's a pleasure.
And also, rounding things out, our sound engineer, comedian, and man about town, Mr. Louis Bishop.
Hello, Martha. How are you?
I'm great.
You know, Louis used to...
It's great hearing from you.
Louis, for realsies, used to be a radio DJ, so I think we should all talk in our... I don't really have a radio voice.
I was a radio DJ for a couple of years.
Really? How many years? That wasn't my real voice. That was my Gary Owen.
Live from beautiful downtown.
When people find out, there's a lot of pressure to be super suave on the voice, right?
And P.S., a new slang term I'm going to say all the time, presh instead of pressure. How have I not been saying that all along?
That's kind of, I don't know if you met Sandra Battellini, Blair, when you came up to SheDot last time.
I don't think so.
She is the queen of those kind of short forms in Toronto, and I'm riffing off the amazingly funny Sandra Battellini. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to make sure I follow her on Twitter at least so I can be ahead of the kids on all of that kind of stuff. I do not have a radio voice. I do have a mom phone voice where I make fun of my mom's phone voice. So
Do I still have to be home by 11?
No. Gary, hi. Gary, please get home right away. I'm talking to you in front of other people, but I'm very angry. Okay.
That sounds like a 50s Judy Garland riff there.
That's what she was going for.
It looks like you're selling new improved Joker products.
It does. Okay, well, let us do a little bio for the listeners to introduce you, Martha.
Did you write this?
Yeah, no, I got this from an official thing.
Okay.
Martha, every week my husband thinks I just make things up in people's bios, so
Well, when you say derogatory things in the bio, I want to know if you wrote it or if you got it from somewhere else, because I don't want you writing derogatory things about our guests.
There are never derogatory
things. Oh, that's
in
not
the
true.
bios. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read this. Martha O'Neill has performed all over Canada and as far away as Dublin and London. Television appearances include The Mom Show, Till Death Do Us Part, both on the Slice Network and Come Dine With Me Canada on W Network.
Wow.
On radio, she's been heard on SiriusXM's Laugh Attack and Anything Goes. In 2013, Martha had her own comedy special as part of the No Kidding series on iChannel. Martha is also the executive producer and founder of SheDot Comedy Festival, Toronto's festival of funny women, which explodes into its fourth year, May 4th through the 7th, all over Toronto. Everyone, big round of applause for Martha.
Oh, yeah!
Okay, I did write that thing about it exploding all over Toronto.
Did I write that? How it's embarrassing.
That was from an agency website that I found.
Oh, okay. Well, you write so much. Like you're doing press releases, you're doing the website, and sometimes you get a little crazy. And when it's read back to you, I'm thinking maybe I could have chosen better words.
Well, it may not have been all your words. So there you go. So before we get into some other stuff, Martha, I know that, tell me a little bit about the founding of SheDot and how it came to be and why people should go and all that great stuff.
Oh, right. Well, the legend we tell, I do a thing. I used to do a sort of women's comedy weekend at my father's cottage for years, and it just was open to any comics who were female who wanted to come. And I was just looking around and was like, God, there's a lot of talent. There is so much talent. And I don't know, I was getting a bit frustrated with my own career, coveting festivals and not getting them. And
I don't know what that's like. That must be very hard.
Well, I think we all get frustrated. But I started stand up. I did improv and sketch for years and years, but I started stand up a little bit older than my peers, and I just don't have the time to mess around, So I just started. I don't.
I'm laughing because I did improv and sketch for years, and then I started stand up when I was 43. So I feel you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was me.
I was a couple of years. I was 39 when
I started. Oh, a baby.
I know, but you'd go to these mics, and I'd walk up to these. I could be your white trash mom, and,
right?
Because these guys. But now I could just be their mom. I've been in it for a while. It's like all these young guys. But so it was kind of born of frustration and wanting to do something positive, and so I got. 3 other comics who I adore, Anna Gustafson, Becky Bays, and Karen O'Keefe, and we just did it, and that's how things happen. Anna and Becky are not with the festival this year. They just they did 3 years and trying to move on, but Karen and I are plugging away,
right?
And very excited. And so so it's growing. We're growing a bit different way this year. We're taking on other producers to kind of license out the festival. So we've got I think 24 shows, 23 or 24 shows. And all over Toronto, we got 4 venues this year. Comedy Bar, where you performed, is still our main venue. But we have 3 other venues, and we've got and the great thing is more and more submissions coming in every year, which is fantastic.
Well, I talked about it a lot because it was amazing. It was also intimidating in a really great way because the level of talent of all those comedians all over Toronto was something else.
Yeah. We had enough comics to do a Chicago show if we wanted this year, but I couldn't work out the schedule. We had enough Chicago comics for the whole show. So I'm so glad we have so many Americans, trying to, submitting to the festival, and many of them getting in because there's a lot of talent down your way.
Right. Well, and people should go to SheDot.com, I think it is, right?
Yeah.
SheDot Festival.
SheDotFestival.com.
I've applied 4 times.
Yeah, Lewis has applied 4 times, and I've explained to him the rules, and he doesn't care. He's a rule breaker.
Well, I'll keep taking your $20.
I appreciate it.
You know what? That's not the only festival he's willing to take our $20 year after year. At least you're straightforward about it. So, Karen, Martha, I just wrote Karen's name. Martha, no, I just wrote her name because I was like, Karen is still producing.
What about Sandy?
You miss Karen. You miss Karen. She's amazing.
Yeah. Martha, we always ask our comedian guests some things about sports that they're a fan of or that they're into or ever have been, and you gave us some great stuff. I'm going to start with this. You have cousins who have had careers in the NHL, especially Basil or Basil.
Yes,
Basil McRae.
Basil
who
McRae. Yeah.
I looked at the Wikipedia page, and it was, wow, he was a lot of places.
I know.
He was a lot of places.
Yeah, and he's currently with the Blue Jackets as their personnel manager. I think that's his title, personnel manager. He is, he's amazing. He started out in the Nordiques, and then his brother was playing for the Leafs at the time. And I remember going down there. This is like in the 80s, but I remember going down to Maple Leaf Gardens and watching them play against each other, and that was super fun. And his brother Chris didn't have the career that Basil had. I mean, he saw a good career, but Basil then he went to Detroit. Basil was an enforcer too, right? Like he was a big burly, Ty Domi kind of enforcer before Ty Domi. And in Detroit they had Basil bats, like these foam bats where they get each other. But in Minnesota was where he had.
That's like the height of a compliment for that position. I would imagine.
I know.
We need a Blair bat for the show.
Right. We'll get to work on those foam Blair bats.
It would be an actual bat though, like with the wings and the.
But we like where your head's at.
Right.
And then he had some great success in Minnesota, made it to the Stanley Cup, and then he was down in Tampa, and then ended up in St. Louis. So he was all over. He had a great long career. And then he ended up as a co-owner of the London Knights, which is one of the major A teams here. I don't want to get everybody too excited, but what I also read is that he had a cameo in Mighty Ducks. Yes. Oh my God.
Lewis, I thought you would like that.
Mighty Ducks 1 or 2?
Girl, that made me 1, the original, of course.
Oh, okay. Right.
He was
the good one.
Emilio Estevez was practicing with the kids on a big NHL arena, and as they're coming off the ice, there's Basil and some other dude, and they stop. And it was, as a teenage girl, that was more exciting to me than any of the hockey.
Absolutely, no question. And now, do you play? Did you grow up playing hockey?
No. Our family wasn't very sporty. We skied a lot. My brother, my sister's actually very athletic, but we just weren't very. My father was a judge. My mom, we weren't the very sporty family. But
you have to go read no sports or something. I don't know.
No, it was, but we did ski every weekend from age 4 to 18, and every holiday and all that stuff. But I've taken up golf in my dotage years.
Nice. You've evolved into a golf lady.
I've become a stereotype, and I'm embarrassed, but not really.
What are the golfing months in Canada?
Oh, from like right now, all the golf courses are open until the first snowfall, really, like November, December.
Like July.
We get a good golf season.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
we golf until about November.
With some layers. Maybe you have layers on.
Snowshoes.
Yeah, 1 or 2 layers.
Yeah, you mark the thing in the snow with like pink spray paint. Okay. Because it's cold. So this is the thing though that my brain couldn't let go of. Now I realize that you said this was a long time ago, but you were the camera person on Canada's #1 fishing show. Not the 6th or 7th or 10th ranked fishing show. The #1 fishing show in Canada. What was that show called?
Ma'am. Bob Izumi's Real Fishing Show. REAL.
Was real spelled LREL? That was my next question.
No, he didn't. He didn't do that. But it's still on the air. Like, he is the king of fishing in Canada. It's still on the air.
The king of fishing. Wow.
Are there?
Is that a hereditary title?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
His dad was the king of fishing before him, back 6 generations.
Are there a lot of very popular fishing shows? Is that a thing?
Yeah. Yeah, well, there were back in the days like 2 rivals, 2 big rivals.
Were they like trash talk?
Yeah, so much, and we'd meet fishing fans. They'd tell us that the other 2 guys, they were cheating. They were and all
cheating. What do you mean cheating?
Yeah,
cheating on
like we would sit in a boat, honest to goodness, from first light till last light, like on a summer's day. That's a long day, waiting for to record,
right?
And because he wanted a natural hook set, because a hook set is the beauty shot, right? The boom.
Yes.
And but we heard stories about other guys like catching fish, and then running the line through their gills and out the back, and then doing a fake hook set.
What?
Or Yeah,
Wow.
or getting like half dead fish and then putting battery acid on their tongues, make them look all blah blah.
This is like quiz. This is like quiz show. Remember that movie about the 1950s game show?
Yes.
It's just like that.
Right.
This is your next movie script. The expose.
All the stuff that goes on. We never did, though, I got to say, but there were many days we'd sit that boat and just, not much would happen. But, I got to see all of Canada, like parts of Canada that, because we have a huge country.
Yes.
That a lot of it, isn't, you don't go to. Like one time we drove 12 hours, flew 2 hours north of there in a little otter plane, and then, like Wayne, or in the Queen Charlotte Islands in northern BC, we were on an old converted oil tanker that was converted into a floating fishing lodge.
Wow.
There was a Tom Cruise movie that this was the plot of.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
So we didn't catch anything, but we went a long way to not catch anything. So we went dog fishing, which all the guides were horrified. Dogfish are like little sharks.
Oh.
And the guides were horrified. They wouldn't go on camera because we had to get film, right?
Right.
And so there's a great picture of me and Bob holding my shark that I caught later.
Is it not PC to fish for dogfish?
No, I just don't think. I think it's just easy. It's like they're bottom feeding
garbage
no respect fish. Yeah, like there's no honor in
we don't want to be seen on camera. We're respectable, above the Arctic Circle fishing guides. We don't want to be seen catching dogfish.
No honor in dog fishing.
There's no honor in dog fishing.
There's no honor in dog fishing.
We're just like no crying in baseball.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
right?
that's the next Tom Hanks famous line.
Right.
There's no honor in dog fishing.
There's no honor in dog fishing. Wow. The truth.
That's your next T-shirt for merch for your shows.
Yeah. Actually, a friend of mine this was again many years ago, but a friend of mine wrote a song called Shark Woman.
Oh.
Because he thought it was so funny that I'd caught a little shark.
Yeah.
So I have a song written for me called Shark Woman.
Oh, I think if you know a link to it, you could send it to us and maybe we'll open the show with it.
Hey, I have a question.
What's that?
So when you're golfing with your father, do you turn to him on the first tee when you're trying to figure out who should hit first and say, "It's your honor, your honor"?
That's from Caddyshack.
Well,
do you know?
He's a judge.
I know. Gary quotes Caddyshack a lot.
Oh, it actually works, though.
Then that actually makes Gary a much better man, in my opinion.
There you go.
Finest films ever.
See, Blair? See?
It's amazing.
Not just me.
I've watched it, 12 times. I love it.
That's the greatest movie ever made.
And just one more thing about the Canada's #1 fishing show, besides all the scandal. You're the camera person. Is it just the one camera, or do you need, is there 3 cameras in the boat?
2. There were always 2 of us.
Okay.
Because you got to get Bob's face and you got to get the fish,
Right.
Sometimes I'd be alone. Sometimes we'd be alone, but generally there were 2 of us. Yeah.
A split screen, Bob and the fish. You want to be able to have that shot.
Yeah. Well, you got to edit. You got to have a B-roll, right?
Right. You got to fill in the woo.
You know what?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a complicated thing.
Wow, it sounds complicated and cold and tiring.
Yeah.
I look forward to the link to the Shark Woman song.
Right.
So,
well, I only have it on CD, but maybe I can figure it out.
Well, we'll see. Whatever. So, Martha, every time we have a guest, we take into account their interests and their background, and we come up with a ridiculous game. And we've made one just for you. And it's called Which Came First? Putting Canadian Sports in Historical Context for Americans.
Wow, you didn't tell me you named it.
Yeah, I named it. So,
okay, I might need a little bit more explanation for that.
Yes, I don't understand.
No, just go right now. Go. Answers.
We're not dog fishing here.
Oh, sorry.
Martha. This is the big leagues.
You need us to explain. We thought we were talking to Canada's #1 fishing show camera person. I thought you could think on your toes. I guess not.
We were wrong. Well, so we're going to ask some questions, and it's going to help our listeners we do have Canadian listeners, and one of our super fans.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do. Kaylee Feldman from Toronto is our super fan.
We've said listeners.
We've had, he listens. We have had Kristen Finch on the show.
Oh, Kristen. I forgot Kristen. Okay, we do have 2 listeners.
I see the stats. We have more than 2.
Okay.
So we've taken some nice sports trivia about Canada, and put them in context of historical events of whether they've happened before or after. Or you'll get the gist of it. Here,
I'll lay it on me.
Okay, let's just start with this.
So it's like a timeline thing.
Yeah.
Listen, and not to put any pressure on you, but Bob Odenkirk Bob Odenkirk got 7 out of 10, so the bar is quite high.
You talked to Bob Odenkirk?
No, I'm lying.
No. We've talked I met him once. We've talked to some people though. You don't know. So here we go.
We almost had him on, but then we realized he wasn't a camera guy for a fishing show. We're like, we don't
need that.
This hack.
Stop being so impressed, guys.
I am.
Come on.
All right, number 1.
You're like the Canadian Bill Dance camera person.
Exactly.
I don't know who that is.
That is America's number 1, which America's number 1 in everything. So that's the number 1. The world's greatest fisherman is Bill Dance.
Okay.
Yeah, they named a bass boat after him.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. See, this is why we do the show, so I can learn great things like that man's name.
Bill Dance.
Bill Dance. Going to the big dance. Okay. Number 1. Okay, Martha. Which came first? Historically, which came first? A, the presidency of Rutherford B. Hayes. B, the Compromise of 1877. C, F.P. Cahill becomes the first person killed by Billy the Kid. Or D, the founding of the Ottawa Rough Riders football team.
Oh, my goodness. I would say, what was the Billy the Kid?
The F.P. Cahill becomes the first person killed by Billy the Kid?
Yeah, I'd say that one.
No. The founding of the Ottawa Rough Riders football team.
That was the oldest North American sports franchise until they went under like 10 years ago.
What was it? 1870.
1876. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
didn't even know they had
Ottawa,
football.
We do have a new football team. We do have a new football team called the Red Blacks.
Right.
Yeah.
The Red Blacks. That's an odd name. What is that? Does that mean something? Does that mean something?
Like, I don't.
Is that
know,
a type of hawk?
Living in Ottawa.
I mean,
yeah. I don't know what it means.
Right.
I'm sure because it's sports. I have no doubt that it means something significant to somebody.
Okay.
But no, I don't know.
All right.
Okay. Well, all right. That was number 1. Wow. I thought you'd know about Canada stuff.
I didn't know.
All right. You know how I know all about American football.
Yes, right. The sporting matches that you so adore.
The sporting matches that I like to see Gary watch. Okay. Number 2. Which of the following statements, Martha, is true?
Okay.
A, Canada competed in its first Olympics in 1904 in Paris. B, the University of Ottawa sports teams are known as the BBs. C, Babe Ruth once hit a home run as a pro baseball player in Toronto. Or D, the Winnipeg Jets never won an Avco Cup championship in the WHL.
Well, I have knowledge on all those.
All of those. I don't even know if is it Avco or AVCO?
Avco.
I didn't know if it was supposed to be
the World Hockey League.
Okay.
They competed with the NHL briefly.
Okay. I'm going to say the Olympics 1904.
No.
What?
It was Babe Ruth. Once hit a home run as a pro baseball player in Toronto.
He was playing for Providence in AAA baseball at the time, and I guess there was a Toronto team, and he hit a shot completely out of the stadium into whatever Great Lake adjoined the stadium. Yeah.
Yeah. Whichever, the Great Lake of your choice.
Yeah, it was close, though. Canada's first Olympics was 4 years earlier in Paris. The date was wrong on that one. So that's probably what had you confused.
Okay. Yeah, that
was covered in trickstersness.
Yeah. You know what,
so
Gary?
Babe Ruth played in Toronto.
Yeah, I'm just going to read all the questions this week, and you be the color man.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because
right.
he found all these. He can tell you why they are. All right, let's try this, Martha. Number 3. Who hit the home run to win Canada's first World Series in 1992? It's not multiple choice.
I might have a chance with this. It's not multiple choice?
No. But let's give you a hint. The U.S. president before Ronald Reagan, what was his last name?
How's she going to know that?
She's going to know.
She's Canadian.
She's Canadian.
Ford.
No,
See, told you.
between Ford and Reagan. He's still alive.
Oh, Jimmy Carter. Oh,
right.
Carter.
Okay.
Gary Carter. Ding, 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 ding.
No, that was a different Carter that also played for a Canadian baseball
you know
team.
what?
Good try, though.
No, hold on. Let me give her another hint.
Okay.
All right. First name, Camel cigarettes, blank Camel, blank cool. He smoked cigarettes. He was a camel. He walked on 2 feet. He shot pool.
Wait.
His name was Joe.
Wow, that's a big
Joe
clue.
Carter.
Joe Carter.
There you go.
Well, yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
I wasn't raised on, in Canada we don't have camels. So
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Joe Carter.
That was a very dramatic. It was one of only 2 extra inning walk-off home runs in World Series history.
Wow.
I watched that game.
Yeah?
I was living in England, and it was the middle of the night, but we were so excited. I was working for CBC,
Wow.
which is Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, and we was up all night watching that series. Oh my God, it was so exciting.
It was a great one.
We have pretty flexible standards here at the podcast. So in our book, that is a correct answer.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And you knew
I said Gary Carter. My son would kill me.
No, you knew another.
Well, but
dude
that's a
named
reasonable.
Carter
That's a
in baseball.
reasonable guess, though.
We're gonna give that
I'll
yes.
give you that one.
Okay, number 4, which is true. I think I did this right, Gary.
Okay.
The St. Francis Xavier teams, including Canada's 2001 and 2002 men's basketball champions, are known as the X-Men, or that Wayne Gretzky's first pro team was the Indiana Racers.
So what's the question?
Which of these 2 things is true?
No, you did not do that correctly.
Well, do you want to fix it?
Okay, I'll give you the same effects thing.
Okay.
The X-Men.
The X-Men, yes.
That was the correct answer. The question was supposed to be his team. I put in parentheses afterwards. That is his actual first pro team because nobody would know that. It was supposed to be his first team was the
Winnipeg.
No, who did he play? I'm an idiot. Who did Gretzky start off for?
Edmonton.
Right. That was supposed to be. That was the false one, and the other one was the true one. The Xavier team is known as their mascot is the X-Men.
Yes. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, they're called Saint FX. Everyone calls them Saint FX here. So.
Right.
Nice. Well, that's Gary has pretty bad handwriting, so that's what happened.
So she got it right, even though you gave her 2 true answers. She still got it right. Hard to miss it when they're both true.
Well, yeah, congrats. Well, we like to set people up for success.
But that is an interesting little fact. Gretzky's first pro team was in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
The big hockey team in Indianapolis.
Right.
The Racers.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes me a bad Canadian.
Well, we won't tell anyone. Okay, number 5. Which happened first? One of these 2 things happened first.
Chicken or the
last Grey Cup championship for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, or Florida executed serial killer Ted Bundy.
I'm going to say Bundy.
Yes, that's correct. Ding,
there
ding,
you go.
ding. They were a year apart. They executed Bundy in 89, and the Grey Cup championship for Winnipeg was in 90.
Does Canada have serial killers?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, no, we have a serial killer wall. It's electrified.
Are they as good as American serial killers or no?
No, American serial. We're the best at everything.
Right. Okay, just want to make sure.
We have our share, not as bad, but we have 1/10 the population of your country.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Right.
But we have a few big cases: the Bernardo case, the Picton case. We all.
So if you want to be a mass murderer in Canada, you got to struggle really hard to find victims. 10 times harder to find a victim than it is here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We're not
All right.
densely populated.
Yeah, so in
unless
that
you
way,
base yourself out of a city.
So to really be motivated to be a serial killer.
Yeah, in that way they have to be better in a lot of ways.
All right.
I guess. All right, number 6, true or false? The Canadian women's hockey team beat Slovakia 18-0 in the 2010 Olympics, breaking the record for the biggest Olympic margin of victory.
Yes, of course.
Ding, 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 ding. True.
Yes.
Congratulations.
We have an amazing women's hockey team.
16-0's a lot, though. You could put in the second string when you get to a certain point.
18-0.
18-0. Come on.
I was at the Hockey Hall of Fame last year when I was up there. The whole thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you went off.
We did a live show about that and deducted it from our taxes.
We wouldn't have enough to deduct from. Okay, number 7, true or false? The Winnipeg Cyclone basketball team was once briefly coached by former NBA great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's false.
It is false, but it's a trick question, and Gary wants you to know that they were once coached by former Sixer Badman. I wasn't sure if that was...
Daryl Dawkins, the Chocolate Thunder from the Dr. J championship team in the early 80s. He coached them once. So.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
wow.
Crazy. I thought he just went right. He had some imaginary land of, like basketball dunkingness that he believed he was going to go to as soon as he retired. I can't remember the name of it, but I was surprised he was still here in our dimension.
Oh, okay.
Coaching minor, Canadian basketball.
Right. Okay, well, you've really picked up steam here, Martha.
Yeah.
Number 8.
I feel like my questions aren't hard enough.
No, we got 10, and we got
emboldened. I'm feeling emboldened.
She's got a little confidence now. She's going. Okay,
yeah.
Number 8. Which one of these is not the name of the NHL's Toronto Maple Leafs?
Yeah, well, they were called a number of things during their career. And 2 of these 3 things are prior names to being the Maple Leafs, and one of them is made up.
Okay, so A, Toronto Areas. B,
Argos?
Arenas, sorry.
Arenas, that's it.
Toronto Arenas. Gary's really bad handwriting.
Yeah, I do, sorry.
B, Toronto Great Lakes. Or C, Toronto Dynamos. Which of those was not a former name of the Maple Leafs?
I'm going to say Dominoes.
Dynamos. The
Dynamos. Okay, then the Great Lakes. I think.
Ding, 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 ding.
Wow.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
They were not, but they were the Arenas and the Dynamos.
Yes, I know. It's crazy.
Do you have a problem with the fact that it's Leafs and not Leaves?
No, because
Okay.
my whole life, it's one of those things that's just ingrained in you.
Okay. Bad grammar? Okay. No. Or is that one of those things? All right. We're coming in the home stretch. We got 10 questions and then a bonus question. Which means 11 questions.
Right. Good luck with the bonus question.
9. True or false, Canada has won an Olympic gold medal in soccer.
False.
True. But
really?
But it was in 1904 in St. Louis. 1904 in St. Louis, and the U.S. and Canada were the only participants in the soccer.
That made it a bit easier.
Nobody else bothered to send anyone. So you beat the Americans as everybody else does in that particular game, usually, or at least in men's soccer.
You got David Beckham now, or is David Beckham still down there in L.A.?
I mean, he's there, but I don't think he's playing.
No, he's like 80.
We'll fact check that. He's a good-looking 80.
But he's done. He's not playing.
Don't let him speak. Don't let him speak.
Oh,
Have you heard his way to speak?
I heard that he said some. Anyway, okay, he's pretty. That's nice. 10. Number 10. Which NHL player holds the record for the most points in a game, which is 10? 10 goals in a game. Is it A, Wayne Gretzky, B, Daryl Sittler, or C, Mario Lemieux?
Now, just 1 second. It's not 10 goals in a game. It's 10 points. So
10
it's a combination of goals and assists that total 10.
I'm going to say Mario Lemieux.
Daryl Sittler.
Daryl Sittler.
Yeah, 1976 for Toronto. Yeah. I had his hockey card growing up.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. I was really into cards for about 3 years. I had a lot of baseball cards and stuff, and then it was just at the time, Topps for like 3 years here put out hockey cards, and I had them all. Like, I had everybody.
Really?
Yeah. And there were a lot of famous, Bobby Orr, and like, there were Phil Esposito. Like, I had all the Bruins. I don't know. They seem to be popular there.
On the fishing show, because we had a lot of athletes on the fishing show, and we had Bobby Hull.
Athletes on a fishing show.
They loved, because in the off season that's what they would do.
Right. Yeah.
We had Bobby Hull.
Right.
Who I don't know if you remember him.
Oh yeah. He was good.
People you wouldn't have known. Yeah, no, he was great.
No, Bobby Hall's probably one of the 3 or 4 top players of all time, I would say. Definitely from that era, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Daryl Sittler is in a very sad commercial now. You know what happens, when it's a Dream Water commercial. It's for it's like water that helps you fall. It's just like got an additive to it that helps you sleep. It just looks. It makes me sad.
Okay.
Do people know who Daryl Sittler is 40 years later? I guess they do. Huh?
In Canada, huge,
right.
huge star here.
Okay.
All right. I have to look up what Dream Water is, but I don't want a sad dream. So why is that in the commercial? That seems like a terrible commercial. All right, here's your bonus question, Martha. Bonus question. What is Canadian Clara Hughes famous for?
Clara Hughes.
It's sports. It's sportsish.
I know. I'm trying to remember. Isn't this terrible? Because she's become like the spokesperson for
you know her?
Mental illness.
Wow.
I've not met her, but
no, but I mean, I've never heard of her. That's fantastic.
Oh,
I'm
really?
impressed. Yeah.
Oh no, she's famous for lately doing a lot of mental health issues. She's famous for that.
I'll give you half a point just for knowing who she was.
And I amend the question. What sports thing is Clara
Hughes? She's a skater, isn't she?
She is, and that's part of it.
You're smoking hot. Warm. You're very warm.
That's part of it. Did she do anything else?
I don't know.
I'm gonna put you out of your misery because we're gonna give you 3/4 of point for the mental.
Okay, 3/4 of point, 6.
Yeah. Okay. She was the first woman ever to win medals in both Summer and Winter Olympics games from any country. She won in cycling as well as speed skating.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn impressive.
There was a couple of things. Yeah. There was a German woman who won gold medals in the Summer and Winter Olympics in the same year. Doug, to me, you got to re-gear. Like, if you're a speed skater, because this woman won hers 8 years apart. Like, you're a speed skater, and then you quit and you start training in cycling, and then doing the same year in 2 completely different sports. And then there was an American guy in 1920 who won for bobsledding and boxing.
So in the winter,
gold medal of each. Yeah, that's
badass.
Four people in history won one in each.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Clara Hughes is a very well-respected figure up here.
Yeah.
We like our star athletes up here.
I mean, not so much that you know why they're stars, but you like them.
That's reflective of me. That's reflective of me and not most Canadians.
Right. No, I'm just teasing. But
isn't it weird that when she sees that other commercial about the sleep water, she should talk to Clara Hughes because she's depressed? Brings up mental health.
No, that's true. That's kind of bringing it all together.
Yeah.
Well, Martha, you did really well. I think you got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got like 7 3/4 out of 10.
Oh, Bob Odenkirk. Sorry.
Bob Odenkirk levels.
Yeah, that's almost, but still wonderful. Well, Martha, we've really enjoyed having you on, and we hope that you have great success with this year's SheDot Festival. And anything else?
Yes, I'm sorry you can't. Sorry you can't join us, but maybe next time.
Well, my stupid husband got his appendix out, and it really screwed everything up.
Thanks, Garrett.
Sorry. I tried to hold on.
We're going to take out all his other organs.
She's like, can't you just hold on until June? I was like, no.
I'm going to need that now, immediately. But I hope to be up there again very, very, not too distant future. But thank you so much. We really, really enjoyed it, and best of luck with everything.
Thanks so much, guys.
Okay.
And Joel, I appreciate you talking to me.
Okay, thanks, Mother. Bye.
Bye.
Oop. Wow, you don't play around.
Well, I didn't. I thought.
Right.
Get out.
Yeah.
No.
All right, bye.
No.
Jesus.
No, that was a lot of fun. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna wrap us up for today.
I had Sandy Beach on hold for 5 minutes because you wouldn't shut up.
All right, download all our episodes. We put out every week. Hear more about Sandy Beaches and all of my special friends by subscribing in iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Find us on Facebook and Instagram and everything else. Thank you, Mr. Bushup, for bringing
Mr. Bushup.
taking us out for the jazz trumpet stylings of Mr. Al Hurt.